one of the things that is going to get us a lot of success in a lot of ways is by learning a lot of things from other people who are actually successful, the big companies, the big organizations, where they're great at doing something. By the title we are going to talk about Apple company, and we're going to talk about 3 lessons that I think yesterday I was having a conversation, and 3 pointers that I've kind of taken out. PRS in a way, not PRS in a way, it's PRS. We are going to talk about 3 things in this video, and when we're learning things from the people who are actually successful in what they're doing, we can adapt that to our own businesses, our own products and services, which is going to give you a great leverage when we also want to become successful. So that brings us to the starting of this video. Thank you so much for joining in. We are recording this on 16th of August 2022, 7:40 p.m. 3 lessons from Apple, parameters for great course, products, services, how we are doing it. So point number 1, this is Sir, by the way, thank you for joining in. Point number 1 is all about performance. When it comes to my iPhone, it's out there. I'm using iPhone 6 for last 7 years. Cool. Got that it was August, September of 2015. We are on August 2022. It's been 7 years. And one of the biggest qualities of that phone, Apple company, is that you take any product. It is the first point that we discuss. It's about performance. Cool. The phone never slows down. The phone never gets heated up. The phone never hangs. 3 things when it comes to performance. So the other day when we went to buy the other phone, which was a different company, not Apple, the first question that I asked was, okay, I have got like 7 years old phone. Cool. I'm using this just for the sake of performance. Never slows down, never gets heated up, never hangs. Does that phone has this one performance? Like, I'm just using for this one reason, performance. Does that phone has got it? They're like, no sir, that is Apple, this is not Apple. I'm like, great. So when we are creating our courses, cool, when we are creating our products, when we are creating our product, services, courses, the community, is always think about, okay, how can I adapt that mindset of performance where my courses can perform that much? So I will give you 3 examples over here. When it comes to performance, it is all has to do with the actions the people take, the results that people get with the actions, and how fast can you take them from point A to point B. So under performance, we have these 3 categories. How can you help them in any of your video or any of the content piece you're doing, designing and creating? How can that help them take action? When they take an action, they get a result. And how can you move them from point A to point B all the way? So when they take an action, they are like on say 1, and when getting the result, they are on say 2, point A to point B. How can anything that you're creating can take them from point A to point B? Performance. Point number 2 is something I'm fascinated about a great companies is reliability. You rely. See, we are talking about Apple over here. We can rely on an Apple software, Apple phone, Apple, any product of Apple, and in competition with any other brand, you're spending like 2x, 3x money over here. You're investing in a phone that is expensive. But what will that phone is going to give you, or that system, that product is going to give you, is great return on investments. You don't need to have to repair it all the time. You're spending it more. You don't have hacks over there. It doesn't hang. You don't have to change the spare parts every now and then. What that gives you leverage on is reliability. You can rely. It's like, okay, I'm using some other phone than Apple or any other product than Apple. You can say, okay, 1 year down the line, it's going to cause problems, issues. 3 years down the line, it's going to cause you problems and issues. But when it comes to these great products, you can rely on, you can pump in any number of you can put any number of pressure on that one thing, and still it performs because it's reliable. Now when we just boil down to that small example over here, it's like this like grocery store, provision store over here close by. We rely on that provision store because delivery happens. It's a small business. Cool, just a delivery, just provisions, like you want to buy curd, chips, biscuits. Sometimes when there's sometimes we can also go and buy the vegetables, the fruits, provisions. A proper small provision store, and I can rely on that shop, not 24/7, and cool, give a call, drops. So when it comes to reliability, when people are communicating with you one-to-ones, the community, the courses, the masterminds, the calls that you've got, they have to rely on you No, they have to be self-reliant in a way. That's the only reason. That's one thing that you always install in them. But then when they come and watch your courses or your product, or when they communicate with any of what you're creating, they should move forward. There are a lot of videos that I go and watch my mentors where they're like 3 years old videos or 4 years old videos. But then when I go watch that, I get clarity in what I'm doing. I got to okay, I just want to do this, 4 things. Okay, I just do implement that, get the result. So your content has to be that very reliable. Anytime it has to be evergreen. So it has to be time tested. It has to be practical. People need to be getting results. And the one thing that is going to give you a lot of conversions when it comes to reliable product is you are going to get a lot of conversions through word of mouth. Word of mouth. You can be getting money. You can be spending advertisements. Everything is cool. That's inorganic. But when it comes to organic reach, when your product is reliable, people are going to, it's just like, okay, I've watched this movie, I want you to also watch this movie. So when you watch a movie, when you have the epic experience of watching a movie, you want all your friends, all your relatives, all your close people to also want them to experience the whole movie experience for that you've got it. So likewise, your product and courses has to be in that way, where once someone experiences that, they want the whole close circle to experience the same thing. So you're going to get conversions over there. Third part is going to be simple. No giji viji. It has to be pure simple. When we keep things simple, it gets a lot of results. You don't have to make things complicated. You don't have to make anything complicated. How can you boil down any complicated thing into just like, okay, you just have to do this, you'll get the results. That's all. That's what, for me, my definition of a game plan, a framework, a strategy is that, okay, I have done things a complicated way. I have built my website on that domain, not hosting, and it took me like good 1 year of struggle and finding that right hosting, where I have got the right hosting right now, where I feel, okay, now I can rely on it because it has got simplicity. Because of the struggles and challenges that I've gone through, now I can tell you exactly, you can build a website in like 20 minutes if you've got the content ready. You just have to follow the steps, and when the content is ready, you just have to keep on publishing the content. Boom, 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 20 minutes ready. Boom, website standing. That way it has to be simple. How can you boil down any complicated thing simple? And one of the examples I'm going to review over here, how can you make anything simple, is think about the daily examples. How can you create anything? How can you create 2a plus ab plus 2b, whatever the formula is there. Okay, how can you relate that formula to a daily experience? Okay, you go to a shop. How can you relate that over here? That smaller links. So when you're relating that with daily experiences, daily activities of, you just saw something over there. Okay, how can I relate to what I'm doing? How can I relate that to calligraphy? How can I relate that to any painting that I've got? So like, how can you do that? That becomes easy for people to understand, because that is what you are dealing with on a daily basis. That's what they are also dealing with on a daily basis. So the shortest way becomes the simple way. Okay, the shortest way, simple way. And think about the longer route yet simple. When I generally travel or wherever I go, I like to take the longer route where I can avoid a lot of signals and traffic. It's going to be longer. Cool. I'm going to get stuck a lot of times because I don't know the route, but then to avoid this route where there's traffic, where there are signals, I'm going to take the longer route. But when I take the longer route, what's going to happen is I don't get traffic or the signals. If we can avoid these two things, things become simple for you. Simple for me, at least for me. So it becomes simple and the shortest route to the destination. So that doesn't mean there is a shortcut to everything. You need to work hard as well as you need to work smart. So it's like just not smart, but then also working hard. You eventually have to go through. I can tell you how to build a business, but then towards the end of the day, you have to lift the weights. I can tell you anything, but towards the end of the day, it's you who have to do the thing. So that brings us to the conclusion of this one video. Thank you so much for making this video a part of your day. Lessons learned, there are like 1,000 more lessons we can derive from. But then at the point, I kind of wrote this down in the morning or before sleeping. I think it just came to me. It's like I'm going to talk about performance, reliability, and simple. We have these three as core pillars of creating our courses. I think great courses are going to come into daylight and going to be impactful transformation for people. So thank you so much for watching this. The next video that I'm going to record is going to be Facebook value add brand awareness campaign ad strategy. Something that I've been learning. I did not yet practice this one, but then something that I've learned from one of my mentors. I was like, I'm going to teach you this one because this is something that I'm working on, and they're kind of handling my ad account, and I wanted to share this secret with you. So if you haven't seen that, you can see that. And thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you there. May peace and blessings be upon you and your loved ones.